Can we?
Hi, y'all. I'm Joe, your host and cannabis lifestyle guide. And do I have a fun friend to have a smoke sesh with today? My buddy, who looks oh so serious in his profile picture, is a very fun cannabis attorney by the name of Luke Zimmerman. Luke, thank you so much for being in the studio to roll with me.
Joe, thank you for having me back on the show. I'm very excited to be here, and I am stoked to roll some joints with you and maybe share some joint knowledge. So
Yes,
thanks for having me on. Can I
totally.
do a shameless plug right now for your sponsor?
Please do. My pleasure. Go for
OCB,
it.
type of rolling paper that would include a crutch in every book. And I got to say, I really appreciate that. That's something I appreciate about OCB because I think the crutch is one of the most essential parts of the joint. Especially, I am a Dutch style roller, so very important. Thank you.
Okay. So the crutch is clutch and he rolls Dutch. And I don't even know what the fuck that means.
We can use f bombs on this episode. Okay, okay. I thought it was just shits, but if we can use the f, okay, this is
Shits
good.
and giggles. That is what I'm in the mood
Oh,
for.
we can we
Yes.
can we can get to giggles.
So tell me,
I'm
what is this
confident.
Dutch rolling? What does that
Well,
mean?
this is what we're going to get into. So what I'm going to ask you is one, how do you roll your joint? I mean, we're going to start with you, and then we'll do a little back and forth in it. We'll
All right,
workshop this.
coach. All
All
right.
right.
I see you've taken over this. All right.
Well, I will be interviewing you. It's very attorney like. Just dominate the conversation. Start asking questions in reverse. That's great.
Yes. And I will say that these crutches, they've got the little perforations. And so
Love
it's
it.
like, they're awesome. I really do like them. So, how do I roll joints?
How do you roll joints?
Very carefully.
Great answer.
No, I have very limited skills, and so I have learned that the shorter, the 1 1/4 papers seem to work
Mhm.
better for me. Plus, I, in these days of COVID, if you will, if we still even want to call it that, we're not sharing joints. And so I want a shorter kind of rosette style joint.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm rolling the 1 1/4 OCB bamboo. This is my flavor of the month. And I feel like if I get a hang of one of the papers, then I can go and try the next one. But I'm really digging these super thin OCB bamboo papers.
Dig it.
Yeah.
Are you a straight roll or a cone or like a back roll or a magic carpet?
I don't know what some of those things are, but I
Okay.
like the creating the little bit of a cone style. I feel like it helps me roll it up better, and I get
So
to remove some of the paper.
that
Did you just crisscross something? What am I
did
seeing?
are yes.
Okay,
Do
that's what
you
I want to see. Okay.
do that?
No.
This is what you want to do.
Okay. And now and I'm working with the shorty, so I still want to
So
do
hold
that.
on, we'll tag it out. I can roll joints of all shapes and sizes at this point. I have been to enough concerts and festivals where you have to roll the scrampiest joint on your friend's hand in the middle of a crowd that I am that level of certified with these things.
Okay, so are you telling me to yes do that with this shorty or no?
Yes. Oh, it's definitely a
Okay.
yes. It's
Now,
always a
which
yes.
way is
Paper
the
should be on top.
what should be on top? The glue. I'm saying which direction is the glue? Is it facing me
Yes.
on the top?
Facing you on the top.
Okay,
Yes.
boom. That's what I wanted to know. All right. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. All
And so
right.
normally do you just straight roll yours? Is that like a cigarette?
No, I don't normally just I did straight roll the last one just to practice, but there's too much paper smoking happening.
There is a lot.
So
So
what you just showed me, I feel like that's a lot of paper folded.
so I mean, the step 2 to this is the reversal of this, where you roll it backwards and then you can tear it and burn off the paper.
I've seen someone do that. Why don't you just do show and tell style?
Okay, well,
So you do this.
we're going to keep it simple first and just
Yeah.
do this is a Dutch cone. Or so starting from that shape,
Okay.
right? Now we're going to put some of the happy juice in there, happy flowers.
Oh, I haven't. Well, you're way ahead.
Hold
So
on.
I haven't even
Okay,
ground
we're
flour. I thought we were doing like the whole experience.
Let's do the whole experience. I'm just jumping into this.
And I remember from rolling joints with you that you're a blend guy.
I am a blend guy.
And so I remember that. And so
And you're not.
I am normally not. I'm a purist.
Monist. Yes.
So what I have brought to the party with me today is some of my legal California flower attorneys. Wink, wink. I was just up in Southern Humboldt, and so in the Whitethorn region, I've got some Vesuvio Gardens. They're gelato number 33.
Ooh.
That's lovely. I got it in the smallest little smoke shops called Joe's Pot Shop, and it's the size of my closet. It was awesome.
That is then appropriate for you, Joe.
Yes, Joe, but there was Joe with an E. And then I've got this wishful thinking that is from my friends at Huckleberry Hill Farms, and it is a cross between Paradise Punch and High School Sweetheart.
Oh.
So these are personal cultivars. You know, when you were talking about what you do with your intellectual property, these mofos need to get in touch with you.
That makes when you say cultivar, every time I hear cultivar and I don't hear strain, I light up on the inside, and then I light up externally. But I get so happy to hear that, because strain is not an appropriate word to use in relationship to a plant in general, but especially for cannabis. It's not the right way to talk about the different types of cannabis, or the different genetic profiles or chemobar profiles. Strains are appropriate for mycology or for virology. Like we have strains of COVID, but you don't ever have strains of cannabis. That's not the appropriate way from a botanical sense to talk about the plant. We have cultivars and varietals. And cultivars, it's really easy to associate the word because you're cultivating the plant for a specific trait or attribute. And so when people are going on pheno hunts, really you're looking for the aspects of the plant you want to cultivate. So yeah, if you can take that away, that's my one plug. Go with cultivars. I like it. Don't go with strains.
Yes. And you know, this intellectual property in the cannabis space is kind of your jam.
That is very much my jam. There are a lot of other legal areas that are not my jam, but so I would say that, yes, this is definitely my jelly.
Because you're not the trademark, copyright. You're like, go find somebody else. I only do the... Or no, that is all of you. Okay, yeah, that is.
As soon as we hit patents, then I'm like, oh, I've got people.
That's right.
I don't do the patents.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially I would say I'm probably best known for my trademark work. I've assisted quite a few California companies, especially, but then I have clients now all over the nation. I'm starting to pick up some clients around the world. Shameless plug time.
Yeah.
Moonmade Farms. Both has federally registered and California state registered trademarks.
Moonmade, those are my peeps. Tina Gordon is amazing.
Good people.
She is. Yes. You can, if you go to casuallybaked.com and go to the podcast page and search Moonmade Farms, Tina Gordon, we did a really fun episode out on her farm. And she taught us all about lunar farming.
How beautiful is that farm?
Oh, yeah. I mean, once you drive an hour and a half on a dirt road and finally get there.
Right. I mean, hey, that's solitude. There's a beauty in that.
Okay. Heck yeah. Well, and that's when you know, like, you're in the real. When,
oh, yeah.
When your phone doesn't work and you're just following the line and hoping you get there before the sun
Yes.
goes down. Yeah.
And dodging the dirt pits and like the washout from the road. Oh yeah, I feel you. So along those lines, actually, I'm blending up some Moon Maid Farms Lunar Bouquet
Nice.
with a little bit of sugar cane from 528 Hertz Gardens, which the
Is
sugar
that
cane, it's in Oregon
Oregon?
called,
Okay.
yep, which adds a nice orange note to the Lunar Bouquet.
Lovely.
Yes.
The way you had me fold my paper, now I'm just sitting here looking at it like I don't know what I'm doing.
And that's where that is a completely okay place to be right now. So what I am, hold on, give me 2 seconds.
Oh,
What's
you know what?
this another thing?
Sorry.
Oh no.
We
What?
both I'm excited.
Oh,
I
hit
forgot. I'm going to throw a little mystery splash of my keef jar in there too,
nice.
to like
Hey,
really just
yeah,
get a little
do the real.
yeah, I mean, I'm getting completely luked out over here.
See, now as a prop, I was going to bring in some shatter and then I didn't. And now I would have to unmic to go do it. So I'm not going to do it, but I can
Mm.
match what you're doing right now. But okay, the grinder.
Don't be
I'm
trying to
so,
one up on me.
I'm not, I said match. It's not one up. This is equality. We're going, I don't have an extract added to my pile of stuff. Whoa. So this
Huh.
is currently what we're working with for rolling tray.
All right, I dig
We've
it.
got,
Beautiful.
you'll
Lots
notice
lots of material there.
there are some props that I'm going to try and get to while we're talking after we roll the first joint, but I might not have time, and in which case I got it sorted. But that's ahead of that. That's like foreshadowing for what we're going to do here.
Okay.
But yeah, grinder this size, like just the big, like
Uh-huh.
huge fan. I've moved away from small grinders. I'm just
See,
like,
I've moved. Okay, I'm in love with this grinder, the one that has my funnel on it.
ooh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it's great. Love it, love it. But then my travel grinder, um, these guys at it's like Dragon Chewer is the brand.
Whoa.
But I like the ones that are
Trademark.
this size, like a pill bottle size.
Yep.
It turns so easy. So anybody that has arthritis or hand issues or whatever, it's super easy to use. And it doubles as storage. So
Ah,
you can carry weed in it, and
that
then the
is
grinder is on the bottom.
that's super handy for travel.
Boom.
I
Yeah,
like good
ton.
design. That I can appreciate that.
Yeah. Yes. And the other thing too is, when they start to get, the keef and stuff, and they get sticky and
Skanky, the
harder to
resinous.
turn.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Okay.
So
So, well, can I ask you? I mean, where did you learn how to roll joints? Like,
I
if you're
didn't.
gonna,
I'm doing it right here, right
this
now.
is
Yeah. Cause
one of
so here's
those.
the thing. When you smoke weed in Texas and you're a microdoser, you don't waste what little bit of flour you can get your hands on
I
by
get that.
rolling big joints. You just load what you need in your one hitter or in a little pipe, and then you call it done. And so I never really rolled joints, but as a cannabis lifestyle guide, I show up to a party. Everybody wants to hand over master of ceremonies to me. And I'm like, I roll shitty joints.
Fair. Yeah. That. I for being from Wisconsin, I remember when having an eighth was like the huge deal of really pressed brickish weed that you had to like chop up. It was so dense. And I learned how to roll pinners there using a dollar bill, which I'm so happy that I've moved away from, just because it's kind of gross having your
Yeah,
weed touch
dirty
money.
money. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, not good. But it was an
I mean,
easy way
I
to
love
learn.
money and money loves me, but it can be kind of dirty.
It definitely it can be a bit dirty. Especially I don't want to be smoking that,
And
like.
I want to be smoking now. So tell me what to do with
Okay,
this
so
paper.
on the side that is like has the least amount of paper that you're going to fold over, right?
Hmm.
That's where you're going to end up putting your crutch.
On
So
that or inside that little thing? Inside that little hook.
yeah, yep.
Okay.
And then you are going to put a very, I mean, we're going to go for like a Virginia Slim amount of weed up the crease line,
Okay.
if you get
Virginia
my meaning.
Slim amount. I do.
Because this is not, I mean, you can scale it later on with the skill level to get more of a bat if you want, but I
This
think it's easier to start out small. Okay.
I think you just changed my life. I see what's happening here.
Okay, so you're already far enough on the skill development where you can see the purpose of these things. This is good.
Yes.
So now we're going to start packing it down.
And now the glue is facing me, right?
Glue is facing
Okay,
you.
sweet. All right.
If you're going to roll a reverse Dutch, which allows you to take the paper off, you reverse
That
it.
sounds dirty too.
That, well, if you've spent time in the Netherlands, there's a lot of things that you can do there that are not legal here. That's all I'm going to say about that. And Amsterdam is a beautiful city, and I miss it immensely. Is my other
Yes, it is.
that I'm hoping to make it back there. I missed it on my last trip. That I'm really overdue. Okay, so you're rolling it down, right? Now you want to get it to the point where it's packed well enough that it's not like a brick, and so there'll still be some draw, but it's packed enough that it would hold its shape if the paper kind of came away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you still want to have that kind of this formation, although it's going to be reversed because it's through the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the part, this high sticky part. That's what we're going to tuck under.
My high sticky part kind of went away. We're dealing with different size papers, so mine looks different than yours.
Oh,
You're
okay.
using the slims, right?
Fair. I am using the slims.
Okay.
Easier if you have the oversized paper, it's a little bit easier. Hold on. In the interest of equality, I'm going to rotate out what I'm doing here. Keep my crutch. Shift down to a 1 1/4. Organic hemp. That's what we're using. Thank you, OCB.
I'm using the bamboo.
You're bambooing. Okay.
Yes, Arnav tells me that I say bamboo. Really funny. When he was editing one of my shows, he was like, I like the way you say bamboo. And I was like, how do I say bamboo? And he was like, bam, boo.
There is a good emphasis on the boo that I noticed. I mean, the Wisconsinite in me wants to say bag or bag. So I think maybe the Texan in you is a boo.
Yeah.
Is that?
I love you, boo.
There.
Yeah.
See, that just sounds authentic and charming. That's wonderful.
Oh my gosh, this is a perfect little rosette size. Oh my gosh, thank you for teaching me that. Look at that cutie.
We are now 3/4 of the way done. You're not done yet, though.
Oh, I'm done. I'm about to do another one.
No. Because what you need to have is the final skill set that then makes you, when you do MC this for parties, people look at you and are like, fuck, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, you're about to do the little burning trick, aren't you?
I am. So, as a part, ask me where I learned how to roll joints.
Luke, tell me where you learned to roll joints.
Well, so originally in Wisconsin, I learned how to roll these little kind of crappy pinners that I used a dollar bill for, which carried me through college when I was in Eugene. And I would roll these very hog-legged, crinked up looking, just really ugly joints. But then I moved to Europe for a summer and was studying in Italy and found my way to Amsterdam. For the first time by myself, second time I was to the city. And I was into what is known as the rave scene at that time and found my way to a rave outside of the city center. And I was hanging out by myself. I had my weed. And this couple came up to me and said, "You're not from around here." And I said, "How do you know that?" And they said, "You don't know how to roll a joint."
We've been watching you, son,
Right.
and you
And
need help.
they're like, you're totally a fish out of water right now. And I was like, oh yeah, well there is a lot of truth in these. And I'm like, it's kind of a good joint. They're like, that's not really a good joint. And so I spent the next 2 hours hanging out with this couple, and they showed me how to roll Dutch coins. Cohen. It's like a Cohen, I guess, a Buddhist Cohen. And I can now pretty consistently do it. I'm still not the best on the reversal, where you end up burning off the paper. I believe you always need a tool too. You need some form of pack down. As a lawyer, a red pen just seems appropriate.
Mine is a piece of driftwood from a trip to the Pacific Ocean. I picked it up. It was perfect.
That you're ready to move up to Northern California. Or Oregon with a story like that of I love that. That's great.
My Tamper's driftwood. I feel like if we could find, all kinds of stuff in nature to be our cannabis tools, I think that's a fun little thing to do when you're out in the wild.
Very earthy and windstoned. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like, your one hitter starts getting clogged, pull some pine needles out, clean that out. I mean, come on.
That's actually perfect. Okay. So you got to crown it. That's the next thing we're going to work on.
So, I twisted it, and you're saying push it in like any belly button?
You can take the twist. Let me
Okay.
hold it up to the camera. Let me see what you're doing a little bit. Okay. So from that, just take it, and where the joint kind of meets, just pinch it and press down with your nails and go in a circular motion. So you should have a hard line around the top of the joint. And now don't twist it. Just be pushing down.
Oh, okay. All right.
And so you should see that you're getting like a fine seam around the crown of it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so you want to make that seam as hard as possible.
This is starting to kind of look professional.
I think, it's looking smokable. That's the big point. So
hey, they're all smokable, but this is tight. Luke,
you're doing great. Great. And so this little niblet right here.
You're a niblet.
You're a niblet. Okay, so you want to ideally be able to access this little niblet. Okay.
Yeah.
And so now you're going to really slowly expose that crease to fire, trying not to burn any other paper. And then you pull that little niblet off, and you got a top joint.
Okay, that looks a little magic-y. Let me see if I can
This is what I'm saying. So ask me, Luke, where did you learn how to do that?
Luke, where did you learn to do that?
I was hanging out in Switzerland with a guy named Byron from Australia. He was from Melbourne. And this was on the same trip later on. And we were talking about life, smoking joints. And I look over and I see him doing that. And I was like, what is this dark magic from the land down under? And yeah, since then, especially where you're like, oh, I don't want a lot of paper, it takes off a lot of the surplus paper.
OMG, I did it. And Arnav, you missed it.
Oh, let's see what the finished product. Can you get close?
Do you see?
Oh yeah, totally boss. So now the last step, you're doing great. This is amazing. This is the lighting. And most people just go in hard with a torch. You don't want to do that.
No.
No. Terrible idea.
Nay. I even say we use the hemp wick.
I mean,
I light it. I'd give it some of this. And then,
so you just give it I like to rotisserie style it a little bit and just give it that kind of ginger love from the side, a little bit of a diagonal. And then after everything is kind of blackened and you see a little bit of ember, then I just go in for one good.
My mother told me joint rolling's got a lot more complicated than it was when I did 30 years ago.
That is, my mom might be watching this. So I want to say, hi, Mom. if you are back in Wisconsin watching this, I love you and Dad, and thank you for all your support helping me get here.
Hi, Mom. Yeah. Happy belated Mother's Day.
If
Thanks.
my mom's watching, I'm sorry.
That is what. So your mom, I mean, are you going to teach your? Does your mom know how to roll a joint?
My mom ordered the rolling papers, ocbusa.com /baked, and she
Ooh.
got her variety pack of OCB papers and the rolling tray, and she is watching and learning to re-roll or relearning how to roll joints alongside me. So yeah, she sent me a
That
picture the other day of her supplies.
I love that. I think that's amazing. I gave my parents crash course in joint rolling. We spent an afternoon in Amsterdam together at a cafe. Weren't really smoking, but yeah, we just went through the process of like, hey, let's try and figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to be able to share your lifestyle with your parents. And
Oh, totally.
one of my moms doesn't smoke.
Mhm.
My real dad, he said he tried it one time and he didn't like it. And
Yep.
but my other mom, my real mom,
Yeah.
yeah, she's one of those people that we can have a chat and just talk on the phone for like an hour and a half. And we're talking and I'm smoking and coughing, and then a minute later she's smoking and coughing. And
That's
anyway, it's
cool.
just funny. I like to have that kind of relationship with the
I
folks.
I dig it. My mom, not a smoker either. I had some not great experiences when she was younger around it. And my dad, I'm happy to I get to share this with him as we've gotten older, that he does have a love for the cannabis as well. That getting him on, especially like some low THC, high CBD stuff
Yeah.
for pain and getting old or getting older. But yeah, I agree. I like that we are entering an era. I feel very fortunate that we can share this stuff more openly and have it normalized. Where, I mean, even when I was in Eugene, it was still like a fairly this is weird conversation. And let's see how that's going to work. Yeah, I'm happy that we are just where we are. And I think having this continue to go forward where it's becomes as casual as saying, do you drink, if we're going to use a correlative, I'm all for it. But
Well,
knowing there's, go ahead.
well, I also think that the ritual of rolling a joint makes the culture more interesting than just being like, "Hey, would you like this mint or this gummy?"
Oh yeah,
And I like the drinkables because then it does have that
social
same
aspect.
one for one experience. If somebody wants to drink
Mhm.
an alcoholic drink and you want to have something that's got some sort of THC or CBD or combination, we can all still have this happy hour, but everybody's doing their own thing their own way. And when you can roll these joints where you make these little individual rosettes, everybody gets to smoke their own strain, smoke the
Yep.
paper they want. Like everybody can just do it their own way, and it's not like a big 10-person smoke circle where everybody's slobbering and gumming on the same joint
Well,
anymore. I'm so
and
glad that shit's over.
like, I mean, the idea of going to an event and seeing people line up for dab booths, like, here's 150 people going to hit this dab rig. Yeah, I mean, you get what I jokingly refer to as the Wook flu after those events, because it's just so many people's different mouthing up on one glass piece where I'm
Well, and they
like,
have
oh,
those little the mouth guards now, but
Joe, those are there's an inappropriate joke I'm not going to do, but people don't use those all the time, is what I'm going to say.
well,
It's
this is
just,
true.
the mouth guards and then the wipes. It's like they should be, but you're 3 dabs deep already. You're like, give
Oh
me my.
man, the dab bars at the conferences, I see somebody that's been at one and then they're coming up wanting to talk to me. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go the other way. I'll catch them in about 45 minutes. Everybody's just stupid when they walk away from there. Cause it's like,
This is true.
showing out because you're around a bunch of other cannabis folks.
Well, and I mean, my lungs can't handle it, but I for having some friends who are like, I'm just gonna chase it, and it's like I can get 15 free dabs today. They're like, I'm gonna do it. I get that. I mean, that's
I
part of the
don't.
celebration. Like, no,
No.
hard pass.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm there to, connect with my community and I want to be able to remember something. If I did, 15 dabs, you'd find me slobbering on myself in the green room somewhere.
You don't want to. I mean, you don't want to slobber on yourself. That's a fact. So okay, after you level up, we're gonna move in to things like this. So
What am
this
I
is
looking at?
that is a tulip, also Dutch tulip. Um, that is more of an advanced.
You think? You, you think, Luke? That's not like lesson two?
No. That's. I actually had to watch a video. I haven't rolled one of these in years. That I was like, can I still do this? And this is the maiden voyage to see if I'm doing it right still. Ooh, I'm gonna have to get that more flyer. That or this was just a great waste of probably a gram of weed.
Well, in Oregon, those prices are a little better than what we've got here.
Do you guys have $5 eighths? Is that what we're working with? No?
Are you kidding me?
I'm
I
dead
need to
serious.
make another trip to. Well, I've
It's like,
made
I
a
mean,
trip to
that's not,
Oregon before to get good prices.
well, you interviewed me last time.
Yes.
Maybe the last time you were here.
That was the last time I was
You,
there.
you need to come back up.
I know.
It's things are
I
good up
actually
here.
am planning a trip with a girlfriend, so I will hit you
Oh,
up.
wonderful. Yeah, please do. It's I feel very grateful to be living in Oregon as a smoker. That yeah, the diversity and quality, especially for price point, is I think the best of anywhere I've been in the world.
Yeah. Well, you don't have a big enough population to smoke all that weed.
Well, I mean, some would say Oregon still serves the nation. I think in the legal community, it's definitely too small, which is what is hurting the prices. But I think after prohibition ends, Oregon is in an amazing spot for national distribution.
Well, yeah, that haven't they already teed that up for interstate commerce
They
or
are
transfer?
discussing it, right? Can't really act on it until post
Well,
feds,
certainly.
but yes, they have
But I thought they were
expressed.
the only state that's really like has the wheels in motion on that.
Yes, and from my understanding, they've reached out to California and Oregon to start, or Washington to start discussing it. Bear with me a moment.
Get a close up of Luke.
Is that working? That is working.
Okay, so
See,
the
after
benefit I
that,
see of that is the
yeah,
fire is so far away from you, it doesn't like when your
yeah.
joint starts getting small, it gets a little hot, and you're like, okay,
That's why I think learning how to use the longer papers, but then just go really thin.
yeah,
And I mean, the correlative I'll use most of the Europeans because they smoke spliffs, they roll them like the size of a cigarette. It's not like a big super cone. This is really just to consume a ton of weed and trying to look cool doing it is what I've come up with. That it just you tear through a ton of weed. They're great at parties if they're rolled well because they look neat, but you have so many people slobbering on it then. Not great for being solo.
well, I think it's impressive. I appreciate you showing off.
Well,
It's earned you another trip into the Roll With Me studio later on down the road.
that's yeah, I'm happy to come back on and we can discuss the virtues of rolling a Dutch tulip.
Well, maybe we can have one where we at least just start with me doing the little like um 2 or 3 filter multiple joints wrapped
Ooh,
in one. Like let's start a little bit
I
easier than that.
I'm a fan of those too, actually.
Those are fun.
Or when you start using bigger papers, if you get away from the slims, using 2 or 3 rolled up crutches as like a barrel almost.
Yeah.
Also very, because you get such a good draw because
Yeah.
there's so much more air to come through. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I will try what you showed me with the slims and see if it'll be easier for me to work with the slims now. But that's exciting. That was fun. Thank you for teaching me a new way.
Well, I'm stoked to impart the knowledge. That's a little bit of Dutch wisdom for you right there.
Yeah.
So happy to share, and I want to say thank you for having me on. This has been really fun as always. I appreciate hanging out with you and getting that virtual smoke sesh.
Yes, absolutely. And if any of you out there want to roll with me, um, shoot me an email at ask@casuallybaked.com. And if you want to get your rolling supplies ready, you can go to ocbusa.com/baked and get 4 types of rolling papers and a rolling tray for $4.99. The bundle's worth $20, but the rolling skills and street cred you're going to earn with me is priceless. Luke,
That's good.
thank you.
That is really good.
I do my best,
Hey, it's a good, a good closing,
peddle
a good
those
hook. Right.
papers.
Get the tagline. Get out of there. That's great.
Hey, and you know what? They're sustainable, and that means something to me. I
That does.
appreciate it.
I agree with that. And
So
actually, I mean, there is a report that was put up by Steep Hill Labs about rolling papers and how some pre-rolls will fail on the basis of paper that's used, not on the quality of the flower, just because some papers are so either heavy metal.
yeah,
So I think it really matters what papers you pick, especially if you are a prolific smoker,
yes,
because there is an unseen that is going in your body, especially if you're smoking flavored papers or blunt wraps.
yeah, or those like bright colored papers. Like, what the fuck are you smoking, people? Don't do that.
I
And
mean,
actually, that was SC Labs, I think, that did that.
SE
And
Lab,
I
not
had
Steeple.
them on the show, but I'm going to add that to the sustainability roll up. That's an important reminder because
It is. I mean,
that,
did you ever mess around with what are they, glycerin papers, I think, or
no.
so they look cool because they're clear, or cellulose, plant cellulose papers. I'm
Okay,
going
that
back
makes
to my
more
rabbit trail.
sense.
And they look neat, but they get really resinousy. And apparently there's some of the worst that you can use for contaminants that it's just
Yeah.
not, it's not
But it
good.
sounds good because it's plant based.
And it looks
So,
neat because it's clear.
yeah. So, everybody, do your homework and join us next time on Roll With Me. Thanks for hanging out.